over here. And this side or that side? Is that good?
That's great. Yep.
I'm sure one day she'll let me know if I have a better side.
This looks great.
Hi everyone, my name's Karen Hagelin from First Weber Realty.
And I'm Sharrie Tussler from Hunger Task Force.
And I am here today, well, this is my weekly Business in West Allis series. However, this is not quite West Allis.
We're in the village of West Milwaukee, close enough.
Right, we're just over the border, West Allis. So anyway, I am at Hunger Task Force today. This is a really exciting place here. I was here about 2 months ago with a group of girls from my office, and we really hustled and we got a lot done one day in like 3 hours, and I loved it so much I wanted to come back and really focus on what you guys do here, because it's so important in this whole surrounding community. And some of you probably know or don't know that they moved about 6 months ago?
We've been here for almost a year.
Oh, and it's been
office staff just came in about 6 months ago.
Oh, okay. So they were, used to be up off of Howley Road,
right,
and the freeway. And this is a much bigger facility, and they just really get a lot of work done here. So I'm going to have Sharrie talk a little bit about what they do here and all the different kind of programs that you do for the community.
Sure. Hunger Task Force is your free and local food bank. We support food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, senior dining sites, and seniors living independently and in public housing by supplying them with emergency food and supplemental foods so that they can help make ends meet. Hunger Task Force has been collecting food in the community since 1974, so we're pretty well known. We rely on a lot of volunteers. So you guys came in and volunteered. We're currently in the Volunteer Action Center where people come and help us build boxes of food that go out to seniors. They help us sort food that comes in through food drives. And our job basically is to not just feed people today, but to end future hunger. And so we also work on public policies related to access to things like school breakfast for kids, farmers market vouchers for seniors, the food share program for lots and lots of people who may be unemployed or underemployed. And so if it's about food, if it's about Hunger Task Force is your local agency that can help resolve those issues and assist people to make sure that they have food on the table, that they're healthy and well fed.
Wow, you got that down pat.
I just made all that up.
Yeah. That's great. I'm sure you've done this a few times before. Well, anyway, so we're in the room that we worked in when we came a few months ago, and this, you want to kind of explain this, what this setup is here?
Sure, this conveyor belt helps us to sort food. And so if you give food at, say, Summerfest to get in that opening day, or the Wisconsin State Fair, which you can do, that food will come here and get sorted into categories. We're going to sort out foods that are damaged, dented, icky, broken, and old. And so we're asking people to give foods that are dignified and support the health of people who are going to receive them. We always remind people to think about the kids. Make sure there's fruit, make sure there's vegetables. Kids love peanut butter. But in this space, we're going to sort that food, and then we're going to palletize it, and it's going to go out to food pantries based on people's diet, religion, culture, household size, and personal preference.
Do you want to talk a little bit about when you have groups in here or volunteers? I don't know if you take single people, or if somebody just wants to help out, can they call and come in, or does it have to be a group?
We take everybody. And so there's one group that comes in on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we call them the singles. And so it's all the different individuals, and they come together, and now they're a friends group. And so they may do this kind of food sorting or some stock box building. We take faith-based organizations, we take schools, colleges and universities are welcome, corporations. If you've got a group of friends and you want to do this, we'll figure it out.
Okay, and how do people sign up to do that?
It's so simple. You just go to hungertaskforce.org /volunteer, and you can volunteer. We do go ahead and do a little bit of background checking on some folk to make sure that everything is safe here at Hunger Task Force, so there may be a day or two delay before we get you signed up. but you can volunteer here inside the building. You can volunteer doing a distribution in the community with us, so maybe actually giving those boxes to people. You can volunteer inside of our food pantry network, and you can volunteer at our farm.
Where is that farm? I heard about it, but I didn't get a whole lot of information.
The farm is in Franklin. It's
Okay.
the 200 acres that surround what is the Milwaukee County House of Correction. It used to be their old work farm.
Oh, okay.
And so we took it over in 2006, and we have been managing the farm and growing about 500,000 pounds of fresh produce. Basically everything you might grow in your garden, we grow at the farm, but in a much grander scale. And then we take those fresh items and deliver them along with the canned and shelf-stable items to the food pantries so that people can have a healthier diet.
Oh, that's great. My son works at House of Correction, so I'm sure he knows all about those gardens.
We wave at him.
Yeah. And so if you are a gardener, that might be something that you, especially during the summer, that you'd love to do. I would love to see those gardens. I'm gonna have to do that sometime.
It's a lot of fun. You're outside
Yeah.
in great weather. You're knowing that every melon that you pick, every tomato that you pick is going to go to somebody nearby within 24 hours, and they're going to be so thankful that they
Oh
got
yeah,
fresh food.
and it's fresh. Yes, right. It's not from California or somewhere else across the country.
Right.
That is really great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the phone and we're going to take a little tour,
Okay.
and you can just kind of talk about what you do in each area. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Put this down. And then of course I'll edit all this stuff out. So.
You can do whatever you want to do. You got it going on.
Okay. All right, you lead the way.
All right, here we are in the Volunteer Action Center. As many as 10,000 volunteers may volunteer in this space on an annual basis. Hunger Task Force is in the village of West Milwaukee, so we're really easy to get to. People will come in the side door, and they may have a group of 25 or 35 volunteers who are going to be set up with this conveyor belt. Food is going to come on down the line, and as it comes down the line, people are going to pick off the thing that they are responsible for getting. In this case, fruit. So all of the food gets sorted into categories, and each pantry coordinator chooses the foods that they want. Food can get wasted if you give it to people who can't eat it for a specific reason. If you're a diabetic, if you have a health condition that prevents you from eating certain foods, if your religion prevents you from eating certain foods, then we don't want to give you those items. And so 47 different pantries dot Milwaukee County, and each one of those pantry coordinators is choosing the foods that their pantry serves.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
So we're going to go this way. We're also going to get things in large items. Oh, jeez. Now, some people might use this in a week, and other people take a little longer. But the larger items are going to go out to our soup kitchens. There are 20 different soup kitchens in Milwaukee County. People recognize St. Ben's or the Gathering, St. Vincent de Paul, but there are some smaller ones as well. And then we have homeless shelters that are also preparing food on site, and our job is to get them the size foods that they need in addition to the right kinds of foods. And then, of course, we don't want to forget about our fur friends.
Oh.
So when we do get pet food donated, it usually doesn't go to the pantry network as often as it's going to go to the no-kill shelters. And so we're going to try to support them. Big need lately, infant formula. We've been hearing about
yes, of
shortages
course.
all over the U.S., and those have impacted us as well, and the specialty formulas in particular. But we're asking people not to purchase formula and donate it, but instead leave it on the shelf for the mom who needs it. But if you are the mom who is no longer nursing and you have a can or two left over, donate that to us, okay?
Great idea. Yep.
All right, the Hunger Task Force is supported by the USDA, which is our federal program. Yummy dehydrated potato flakes. Some commodities are more popular than others, obviously, but throughout the course of the pandemic, the USDA responded. It increased the total volume of food to the point where we could serve not just Milwaukee County, but move food all across the state through a group called the Hunger Relief Federation of Wisconsin. And so groups as far north as Red Cliff, Wisconsin, from La Crosse over to Green Bay were receiving food that we were procuring and moving to them through the CARES Act and the ARPA Funding Act. And so Hunger Task Force has been the trusted administrative agent of those organizations involving the federal government for the last 3 years.
Okay, great.
This space is normally where a group would come in and build something that we call Stock Box. Stock Box is a federal program of government commodities as well. This is a giant conveyor belt that gets pulled out.
Yes, this is the area we worked in.
Look, it's just like a big old snake.
Yeah. Yes.
Boxes are built using that tape machine, so you can see that wall of huge boxes over there. Volunteers have built those. They're going to go onto the conveyor belt, and then each person is going to get assigned an item or two to place inside the box. The federal government has lots of rules, and their rule is 2 of this and 4 of that and 1 of those.
Right.
So then at the end, we weigh the box, we move it out, but we build 10,000 of those boxes for seniors every single month. Most of them are moving through Milwaukee County, making sure that older adults are able to make ends meet when they're living on Social Security.
Wow, 10,000 boxes every month. That's just fantastic.
Well, and if we got to meet a lot of seniors during the pandemic because the senior centers were
Sure,
closed.
sure.
So we just went to their parking lots and we did the distributions to them, and it was truly rewarding.
Oh,
to meet
yes.
people who
Oh.
were so thankful to get that little bit of extra help. They worked their whole lives. They did everything right, and they still need just a little tiny bit of help in order, again, to make those ends meet, and we're giving them that help.
It's so great to know. Yep.
Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of boxes in
You
here.
mentioned that we moved because we needed to. I mean, some people
Yes.
move because they just are looking for nicer digs, you know that as an agent. But we moved because we needed more space. We were in 2
Yes.
different warehouse locations. At the height of the pandemic, we had more than 25 semi-loads full of food in cold storage, and we were paying for that storage.
Wow.
This building became available because of the pandemic. The current tenant had to leave, and we ended up taking it up and rehabbing it, cleaning it up, painting it up for use as our food warehouse. We have 5 times more space here. There's
I was just going to ask that
120,000
question.
square feet.
Wow, that's great. Oh,
And it's actually increased our productivity because with the different locations, we had a driver who literally spent the whole day moving food back and forth. Waste of money, waste of time.
Right.
So
Makes
we're
sense.
excited to be here. Right here, what I want you to notice is the names of programs on the sides of these boxes. River West, now called Kinship.
Okay.
North Platte Food Pantry on the north side. One of our schools, Wisconsin Lifelong Learning. Redeemer Evangelical. And so you're going to see a little bit of everything as these orders get built, and they're different sizes because each of the pantry coordinators chose what they needed to serve their population. If we kick over this way, I can show you the freezer and cooler. Big space.
And by the way, it's very nice and cool in here, so you don't have to worry about coming during the summer and sweating while you're working.
That's a fact. Unless we put you outside, then you should worry about it.
Yeah, maybe at the farm would, but
Always dress for the weather whenever you're volunteering. So we had some fun last fall. Charlie Barron's came, and he did this back and forth with us. He said it was
oh,
colder than Lambo in here. And I'm wearing sandals, and it is definitely colder
Woohoo!
than Lambo.
here's the freezer, guys.